Hello and welcome to Nick V Uncensored. Today we've got David Mahoney and we're going to be talking about crypto crash, AI Atlas, electromagnetic field.
Yeah,
David, thank you so much for joining me. How are you and what have you been up to?
I'm very well, Nick. You're not the original uncensored. I've been like that for most of my life, uncensored. Got myself into trouble and out of it because of my fields like that. So I like that, Nicholas Veniamin, uncensored. Nick, I'm good. I've been busy. I've got a trip coming up this week. I'm going to Albania, but I'm not going to talk about it until I've pulled off this mission. But there's a country I never thought I'd go to. So later in the week, I'm going to be there. And I've learned a big lesson this week. You just accidentally topped up my memory to talking about it, Nick, because a lot of the work that we do and the people that we're around in our life, and I know you feel the same way, we're often used as role models. People in a position like us, where we're talking about the truth, and people spend the time, this hour or half an hour, 45 minutes, or much more time to listen to what we have to say about things. I think it's very important that we represent truth, honesty, and to be able to share that and stand in your truth. Because one of the things I'm very proud of is that I am exactly who you see on camera. When people meet me, they say, "Shit, man, you're just exactly that guy." And I had a couple of personal things in the last 2.5 to 3 weeks, and it's about people disappointing me and letting me down. When you travel through this life and you have people around you that you come to respect and you come to enjoy spending time with, and then they just do something so bad that there's just no way back. And I'm not going to talk about particularly who it is or why, but it's happened with three people actually, so it's not just one person. So what I was doing, Nick, before this, as things were getting a bit odd and I was confused about, that's weird, why are they doing that? You could be a business partner, it could be a family member, it could be your partner, lover. And I asked the powers that be, now whether you want to say it's God or the grand creator, whatever you're comfortable using, I said, show me who this person really is. Show me who they really are. And oh my God, did he show me? And I'm still reeling in the shock and the disappointment because it turns out it was like what they showed me who these people were was so bad. I'm like, I'm talking like drug use, deception, lies. I mean, just horrendous to the person that you think it really, really that you've trusted and come to trust over the years. So I think this is a great lesson. Even me, as sharp as I am, and as I am ruthless when it comes to, I will not accept anybody with drugs in my life. If they're making bad decisions and being dishonest and deceitful,
Mm.
deception and betrayal, this sort of emotion, I'll cut them straight away. And believe me, I have one brother in the USA I haven't talked to for 12 and a half years because he's like this. But my advice to all the viewers is ask God or whoever your God is, if you have doubts about people around me, ask him to show you who they really are. But be prepared for the consequences because it's not always good. But God has a way of removing the bad people from your life and replacing them with people who you really need in your life. And this has happened to me on so many occasions as well, Nick. It's countless times I've been introduced to people I thought, well, why would I need to talk to them? And then it just hits me, oh, this guy, he's an expert in aviation electronics. And oh my God, did I need that later in life? So there's a little moral lesson for the day. And I wasn't even going to talk about that, but there it is. Ask God to show you the people who they really are. You want to see behind the cloak, take the mask off, show me what that person's made of, show them what they find of value and what they're willing to stand in and be truthful and honest with no deception and no betrayal with you.
I 100% agree. The only thing that I would add to that would be um, see, I believe that we are gods forgotten in human form. Okay,
Mhm.
we are gods. We are, we are, we are source awareness in the human form. We forgot that we are source because the earth has been hijacked and we've been given amnesia. And I think the way to reveal the people around us is by embodying source awareness and resonating to a point where you listen to your gut, you're connected with yourself, and presence and stillness, and you're able to see through things and people through resonance. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Your intuitional skills are very important in life. Most people are either psychic or intuitive. I'm a little bit more towards the intuitive side, but although I do have psychic abilities, I'm often giggling at myself when I say I knew that was going to happen. Um, but it's true. If you treat yourself like a god, and it's having the self-respect, like, look, you walk like a king and talk like a king, live like a king. You are the king. It's the same as that. If you do move your life around in ways that you do godly things, do God's work, do things that people would not normally do. You know, how many people will stop and help a stranded motorist these days? Oh no, just call this people.
Mhm.
It's just a small example. Random acts of kindness is something I always make a point of getting into my life as well. I just enjoy it. Taking a minute just to be nice to someone, it takes nothing out of your life, and it makes a big difference to that person. But it's this is all part of our journey, Nick, as well. Each one of us is different, and even these people that have shocked me. I know that they're going to end up on their part of their journey, and that's up to them what they do next. Because here's the thing: when you hit rock bottom, it's important to know how to get out of it. And many times, here's another problem, Nick. I don't know how many times I've experienced this with people. When somebody does something so horrific in life, let's say you get into a fight and you kill a family member in a drunken brawl. Okay, I killed my brother. And then what you'll do is you'll change the memory into it was self-defense. He attacked me first, and I was just trying to protect my children, and it was an accident. So they'll take the original memory of the truth and then they'll twist it around and polish it and edit it like a video, and then they'll put that back in the memory. And it's the only way they can get through a traumatic event for their entire lives. And this is a problem that we deal with most people that have trauma. They reinvent the truth, they twist it in a memory, they make an excuse for themselves and wrap it in a comfort blanket so they're never to blame, so they don't have to face that. And that's a huge mistake. The
When
only thing you
rather,
have
when you're saying, I think what you want to say is that what they should be really doing is surrendering.
Yeah, own it. Say, you know what? I mean, yes, you can't tell the police that you shot and killed your brother because you're going to go to jail. I get it why you have to do it, but like you cheat on your wife or you cheat on your husband. There you go. You know, well, the woman would say, well, you forced me to do it because you're always working late and you're never home. They always find an excuse when they know how guilty ridden they are because their soul is screaming at them saying, oh my God, this is terrible. But you know, yeah, but you know, he forced me to do it or she forced me to do it because you know what? She's put on loads of weight and she's not very attractive anymore. And the girl, my secretary, my cleaners, you know, she needs love, and I have my needs and demands. As people make excuses for massive mistakes they made on their soul journey, and sometimes there's no way back. That is always going to stay in their soul until they clean it or make things right. You know what? Admit to it. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry I did that. It was stupid, and now I've lost everything. But okay, I know it's my fault. There's nobody to blame but myself, and I have to accept the consequences and move on. But I'm going to clear my soul by clearing it with the universe by saying, yeah, I was an idiot. I got drunk and I was horny, I was randy, or I was an idiot. I thought that, you know, it was going to be a good business deal. I gambled all our savings on it. And yeah, I was greedy. It was stupid. I was naive, but own it. Don't blame other people for your excuses.
And I think that's the point where you realize where you expand your self-awareness and you start to face the truth to yourself. Nobody has to hear it. It's just what you're aware of and you facing the truth internally.
100%, Nick. 100%. Live and learn. Live and learn. But the great thing about it is when people are removed from your life like this, it's you got to smile and say, "Oh my God, that's so much freedom." All of a sudden, you'll have a sense of freedom. I don't have to be worried about that pain in the ass uncle of mine who's always coming round and borrowing money and borrowing my car and then returns it with no gasoline in there. But these people will be removed to your life because they're not supposed to be there. You're supposed to be focusing on positive people and people with the right harmonic balance, the awakened, not all these bums that'll just keep you chained and
Yeah,
keep
like
you
they're vampires. They're sucking your energy, and
energy vampires.
that goes against what we're here for. Our mission is to keep our energy expanded,
Yeah.
and stimulated, not drained. That's the whole point of awakening, right?
100%, Nick, 100%. But let's get back on track. So we're not going to burn the brains of our viewers. And as usual, I've chosen three topics of interest to share with you guys today. Which one you want to go first?
Let's go to the crypto crash because I was with my cousin and he is very big when it comes to crypto and when he saw everything go down within minutes, he nearly got a heart attack and he thought this was the beginning of the crash, but then I saw it going back up a little bit, you know. So what do you think is happening?
Well, it's an interesting one, this, because for the sake of the audience, Trump announced that he's putting a 100% tariff on China. So for importing products from China. And then somehow this affected the crypto market, and then everybody started going bananas. Now, I'll play a little video, Nick. Have I got the screen share?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll play a little video so people can just get an idea from it. Because I've got a couple of theories about this. I mean, what's happening. Um, yeah, we'll go there first. That's good. They're not long, these videos today, but just for the sake of the audience, if they're like, I'm not quite sure what it is, here we go.
Just come out just now that there was an account that got opened 26 minutes before the news come out yesterday about Trump tariffs with China. Shorted Bitcoin and made 88 million. I mean, how can you argue that isn't corruption? Someone's obviously heard something from someone, haven't they, or heard something in a hallway or in the White House and obviously jumped on it or whatever. But it's the fact the account got opened 26 minutes before the news come out and funded, and then 88 million is just mad, isn't it? How can people be getting away with that in today's world?
So that's exactly the chain of thread that I'm going to go down, because for this much money to be wiped off the stock, off the crypto, people must have had a plan, because it takes a lot of cogs in the wheels of motion to get it all rolling like this. And was it 10 billion that was wiped off? Was that the amount? How much was it?
I can't remember the exact amount, but it was a lot of money.
You know, people are killing themselves. There's been entire funds wiped out because all of these so-called gurus, these crypto gurus, have all been 100% involved, invested, no eggs in other baskets. So, yeah, people panicked. They thought this is the end of crypto. It's going to go down. But my personal feelings about it, Nick, is I think this is designed to take out a lot of the people that are hanging in there playing the game, because I don't think they really want most of the public to make a lot of money with crypto. They still have this feeling that they're the elite, they're the top chosen ones, they need to be in control of the wealth, and having the average Joe Blogs with millions of dollars because he's made it on crypto, they don't want it. So I think this was designed deliberately to make a lot of people sell, to clean out a lot of people, and really kind of to show who's the boys and who's the men here. But it wasn't by accident, because we got cases like that. It was designed, but why was it designed? And that's really the only theory that sort of seems to resonate with me. I don't think they want the public to become multimillionaires by using crypto, which they feel is their little inside club members' special board game and pass.
But this is just to shake people off, to keep them tied down into the matrix system.
Agreed. You've got these people living in Bali saying, "Here's my Lambo, here's my Rolls Royce. I've just made all this money on crypto." And also a lot of people getting scammed with it, Nick. You know, I don't know how many people have been contacting me over the years saying, "Mahoney, are you sending me messages on Instagram or Facebook or saying, oh, you got to invest in this crypto coin that I know?" I said, "No, I'll never ask you for anything. I might ask you, how are you? But that's it. I will never say buy this or buy that."
So
So,
are you saying the white hats are the black hats or the white hats are involved in making
well,
this
in
happen?
all honesty, I think a lot of these people are, some of these people are still kind of the same, you know, but I think there is a lot of snobbery. The white hats are doing a good job. They want people to kind of still be living in freedom and carrying on the American dream sort of lifestyle, two cars and two kids and a dog and a fence. The white hats are the true believers in the American dream and freedom and liberty. The black hats just don't want all of these people to wake up. They want to continuously keep them in a state of fear. And having money in their pockets is not going to be good for business. And it's the same with the white hats, Nick. If you all of a sudden load up all these people around the world with millions and millions of dollars, it's going to have a negative runoff on the average daily street activities, you know? You still need to maintain some law and order, people to go to work, people to pay their mortgages. And if you manage to weather the storm and you're clever enough to be an entrepreneur, to have a good business, and that's great. That's the way it should be. But it's dangerous to arm people all of a sudden that are not used to it to just millions of dollars because they'll end up killing themselves and people around them. You imagine some 18-year-old idiot who's barely been to school in America, doesn't know his father's name, becomes a millionaire and goes and buys a Lamborghini and a helicopter. Do you think bad things are going to happen with those? Yeah, you need to have a special arrangement. And I think it was set up, and I don't think it's going to be the last one. It's already started to climb back up. It's up about 7 or 8% already. Is
That's
it
right.
today?
It is. So, what do you think about the 21st of November regarding XRP when they're saying the ISOI, whatever it's
Great
called,
question.
the compliance? Yeah,
Great question. Now, there's a lot of people that have got XRP and they're trying to shake them out of the trees as well by panicking. This really hit Bitcoin more than XRP. XRP dropped about a 30%. What was it? About
Well,
30%?
it was at $3, and then it dropped down to, I think I remember, $1.80 or $1 70 something, or what, even the lowest, I could be wrong here, $1.60.
Well, that's about 50%, but I was looking at it around 28 to 32%, so 30%. So again, it's designed because, I have XRP, but I don't track it daily. It's just sitting there. It's a long-term investment for me. I
Exactly.
don't trade it, I don't buy it, I don't monitor it.
Exactly. And a lot of people, what they're doing is that they borrow a lot of money to use that money to trade. And when you use that money, when you use somebody else's money to trade, and that then the Bitcoin you've bought with that has now dipped so low, the debtors are going to be saying, well, look, it's gone down so low. I want my money back.
Yeah.
So they haven't bought it on their own with at spot price. They're trading with other people's money. So those people are suffering the most. People like you and I, the viewers who have been slowly, gradually investing over time, we're using our own money to spread our eggs in different baskets to accumulate wealth and to safeguard ourselves from the matrix.
Right, you're exactly right with that. I haven't used anybody else to do it. It's all my own affairs. If I lost it overnight now, that's the risk I accept. I mean, I don't think about it every day and I don't calculate it into my bank balance in case I'm trying to balance things about spending or property buying or car buying. It's just there. It's like an inheritance sort of thing. So um, I have noticed there has been a lot of people talking about XRP is not going to get the Swift contract that it's talking about. They're not going to use Swift as a daily transactional event, but then you get other people saying, hold tight, hold tight, hold fast, $10,000 per coin. Um, I'm holding on because I've learned one thing is just not to believe anybody really, just trust in God. And if it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. It's more of my favorite than the whole Great Reset when they're going to sweep everybody's dollar and zeros off dollars and reset everything. I think that will happen, but it's going to happen slowly. My view is if they are going to do a vast redistribution of wealth among the smart people, it'll be with something like XRP because we've weathered the storms. There's been 4 or 5 ups and downs, ups and downs. Everyone's been trying to shake us from the tree. The hurricanes have come and gone, and here we are. We're still standing fast and hard in the trenches, Nick, holding on to it. So it's my favorite particular theory about financial freedom would be coming from that particular crypto.
I just want to say that I also heard another rumor that XRP could be used in the CBDC stuff, the bricks or whatever, to be programmable money that serves the Draco system. So the way I see XRP because of that is I see XRP as a temporary opportunity for me to make money, but have an exit plan
Hmm.
where I can then convert that money into hard assets like land, properties, silver and gold.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would not. I would know that straight away if it was, and it's absolutely possible. They could be using that to sort of launder the previously unusable dollar bills stashed into a bunker somewhere into XRP, and then it's transferable, non-traceable, and usable. So I'll cash out and use it for something positive. So even if it is eventually a great big event that has been orchestrated by the dark side, the Dracos, or whatever species is controlling all of the illusion, the lack. it won't matter to me because I'll just sidestep it and say, won't affect me, never has. Don't worry, you're not going to know anything about me. So again, we have to wait and see. It's thumb twiddling time, guys, while things play out.
Exactly. I think a lot of people are saying, "Oh, they're probably thinking, well, when do I exit? When is the best time to exit?" And I would say whatever number works for you that gives you financial sovereignty. I think it's not about being rich. It's about being free from the system and so that you can be in peace. You have what you need and then you can live in peace.
Yeah, and it's a funny experience actually because I've been financially independent for quite some time. I've been very blessed in my life. And what happens is, I remember when I was struggling to pay bills, but you go through a short period of, oh, this is amazing. But then it doesn't takes a couple of years. Then you'll say to yourself, okay, well, what do I want to do? I've been everywhere, I've traveled everywhere. I don't want to get in a hotel room with a rock band. I'm not interested in flying on private jets and, just waste money. You get more interested in things that cost nothing, like sunsets and special moments with loved ones and cherished friends and family. You get more money from doing philanthropist work, sponsoring people and donations than you would do from going out and buying yourself a brand new Armani suit. I don't even have any suits that I probably have. I've got two or three of them, but I don't buy them. I don't buy expensive watches. I don't buy expensive shoes. I don't have any labels. Hugo Boss is the only thing I buy because it fits me and I just do it mail order. I don't go shopping for it. When you have money, you become financially independent, you get more blessings out of life by helping other people with your position rather than feathering your nest with expensive labels. It's nice to have a secure home and a nice home where you feel good in, and that's important. Build a library if you like books, have yourself monitors there. But, I have relics. I have ancient relics from around the place I've gathered from various parts of the world. So you'll find when you do get to that status, it's not exactly how you figure, with watches and girls or young guys if you're a woman and luxury hotel rooms and private jets. You can only do so much of that and it becomes very old very quickly. So
Yeah.
you'll
I,
see older
I
people.
mean, I think the most important thing is that you're not in debt. You don't owe money to the banks. You cut ties with the government.
Hmm.
And you're basically free from the system. You've cut all cords. And I think that is true freedom.
You're right.
Spending time with your family, going on little trips away and not, getting out of the 9 to 5. I know it's hard, but again, the part of sovereignty is trying to find ways to cut out from the system.
One of my favorite things is not giving a damn what day of the week it is. I just do what I want to do. I wake up when I'm awake, go to sleep when I'm tired, I eat
Love
when I'm
that.
hungry. I don't care if it's Monday. I don't eat, I don't wear a watch. If I want to know the time, I'll have a look at my phone, but Power Rangers. Come on, let's move on, Nick. We're going to be boring
Okay,
people today.
Three Eye Atlas.
Oh, this is good, isn't it? This one. So for those that don't know, we've got some unknown object hurtling towards us. It's breakneck speed. It's just past the planet of Mars, if you're not a flat earther, that is. And what is it? What's coming? So I'll show you this video because
Well, I'll tell you something. You say Mars and the stars and all of that. And
yeah,
you say, if you're not a flat earther, I believe the earth is flat. I believe that the earth is not round or solid or flat or anything like that. It's a frequency band. It's a hologram. Okay. So, so the stars and Mars and the moon, it's all contained within the firmament. Okay. Once you go beyond that, you enter frequency barriers. You won't be able to enter. It's just frequency. It's not even space. Okay, it's frequency barriers, and I believe that the Three Eye Atlas has come through the frequency barriers. Okay, I think there's a special crystalline frequency field that is a benevolent intervention that I want to talk about in a minute. But go on.
oh, that's is good actually. See, look, flat Earth. I'm not a flat earther, but I'm not a planet guy either. I think there's so many questions that you can raise from the NASA shit that they've been telling us, and even things you can see yourself. Like you go to the other side of Lake Erie, you can still see Chicago and all the buildings there. That shouldn't happen. There's something going on. Airliners taking strange routes, but then when you lay the planet flat, it's a direct route. So I'm not one or the other. I'm open-minded. I don't really care if it is one or the other. The frequency and the matrix and an illusion and a hologram, I hope it isn't because, I'm getting so much pleasure out of life. I would hate to think this was all an chemically induced fantasy dream, all of this time, effort, tears, and hard work we've done. So I would hope that not to be true. I would like to have this experience, even if it's just as a spiritual being stuck inside a meat suit.
Yeah,
But
but it's an organic hologram. It's an organic hologram that's created by our consciousness because you are source, remember? And because you are source, you create timelines. But it's been
yeah,
hijacked by the Dracos.
yeah, I follow that, but it opens up so many questions. Like, okay, how do you explain all the animals around you? Because they're not doing anything what are they doing when they're not being looked at by you or created by you? Then you've got all these other people around you, the millions of people in the cities around the world. They're all at it as well, but we know some of them don't even have souls. So how can they manifest the same things if there's
They
no
can't.
soul?
They can't manifest.
Well,
Uh,
that's what I'm
uh,
saying. It leaves three or four things open. But have a look at this video, Nick,
yeah.
because that's a conversation that would go on for a long time. Here we go. Let me see. It's not. I've got to reboot it. Maybe it's not. Let me take the sound off.
Hmm.
Why is it not doing it? There we go.
Not even sure if I'm supposed to be posting this right now, but I just heard something and it's not a theory anymore. They said it came from one of the deep space channels monitoring 3i Atlas. And what it transmitted, it wasn't background noise. They picked up an encoded pulse, repeating every 47 seconds, the same pattern used in low frequency military comms. Then a secondary signal, like a reply, bounced back from our atmosphere. That's when one of the analysts said the word simulation. And then the feed just cut. Now, I don't know if this was staged, faked, or part of Project Bluebeam, but if it's real, that means something is already active. And here's the part that freaked me out. 3i Atlas hit solar perihelion this week, exactly the moment the pulse peaked. You can call it coincidence. I can't. I don't care if this video gets buried or flagged. Just remember this. When they tell you to look up, don't. Because the show in the sky might not be from above, it might be from here. They want us watching the sky, so we stop watching them. Stay alert, stay aware, in spite of the illusion, see through it, and what are the odds that I just did a video on this?
So the point I'm making there is I don't know what the hell this thing is coming at us, but what I don't trust is anything that any of the scientists, or anybody from NASA or any government official is telling me what it is. If that, like he says, if they're telling us to look up, then maybe just have a glance up, but keep an eye on on what's going on around us because it could also be a holographic situation, Nick, which is I've been talking about for a long time. Get yourself one of these little handheld laser pointers because if it is a hologram and it is right above your head, it won't
Yeah.
reflect off it.
So I'm hearing it's not a hologram. I'm hearing that when the three-eye atlas was first observed, NASA and scientists ignored it because they ignored it because I think they know what it is. And then when independent scientists started observing it and started talking about it on their channels, then NASA couldn't ignore it after. It would have been too suspicious.
Yeah.
And then saying that it's this or it's that, but they're not sure, etc. What no one's talking about is it affects consciousness. It was timed perfectly for a three-eye atlas to be sent out by benevolent beings from other dimensions, could be Pleiadians, I think Pleiadians, so that the three-eye atlas can pass Earth. Now, the importance of it is not the body of three-eye atlas, it's the frequency field that it's emitting now that the ozone layer has thinned to a certain amount, where the field of the three-eye atlas, the energy field, is able to penetrate humans so it could expand consciousness. It will affect consciousness. And it's like a preparation pre-flash.
I like that theory. Um, it would certainly make sense to all of us who are on that point of understanding what they're talking about, this flash and awakening and consciousness, and a little energy booster would be great. Also, I'm not sure if people have know this, but it has been recorded in history before. There has been some cave paintings. I think it's the Hopi and a few other ancient civilizations. They've found the shape of it, which seems to be coincidental, although we can't confirm the shape of it yet because we haven't seen it. But judging by what the long-range telescopes are showing, the shape has been represented in artwork on ancient cave drawings by pre civilization.
Let me just say this though, the 3-hour atlas, as it's approaching closer to Earth, and it should be passing Earth on the 8th of December, it's also activating the energy points of Earth, the ley lines of Earth. And there's Atlantean technology that was built purposely for any hijack in the future possibility, which they predicted by the Dracos. And they built ancient crystalline technologies that would start resonating with the Earth, Schumann resonance, and it's becoming activated. And guess where one of the biggest Atlantean ancient tech is activating right now? Under Gaza. And
Yeah.
that's why Netanyahu wants Gaza to destroy that technology. So it's not about a land grab. This is spiritual consciousness that they want to suppress by destroying this technology under Gaza. And the 3-Eye Atlas is helping activate these energy points and human consciousness. Because
Um,
once, yeah, sorry.
I'm wondering, is that also linked into Giza with all of the new underground chambers that they found down there as well? There's been several
Absolutely.
more rumored in sort of Peru and Guatemala and ancient cities as throughout the Mayan, Inca, and Aztec civilizations as well. Could well all be tied in, Nick.
I 100% agree with that, and also the false light trap that the way they created the false light trap, the Dracos, the reincarnation trap, if you like, is they hijack the networks of the pyramids. That's what they're capable of doing. That's what they're responsible. So, as Earth is being given, raising its frequency with everything going on, like we've just discussed, it's making those networks more weaker. So they're taking over they're retaking over the networks of the pyramids, the false light systems, etc. That stuff. There's a lot of 4D astral things that are going on as well.
Well, I just hope that somehow, somewhere, there is somebody among us that knows how to use and apply this new technology, this old technology, but it's new to us because their planning and timing, like you say, is impeccable. We need it now more than ever. If we don't get this great awakening set up and get rid of the Dracos, get rid of the Black Hats, get rid of all this negative luge, then I don't think we're going to be this close again. If they manage to beat this
Well,
revolution.
Well, mo most souls who are trapped here are trapped from Atlantis when Atlantis fell. So the flash, which is basically the sun flashing, penetrating, bypassing the ozone layer, which is why they're calling it climate change. It is going to expand consciousness so much that it's going to wipe out amnesia, allowing them to regain their soul memory, which they are going to remember from the Atlantean civilization how to use the pyramids.
Get it. I get it. Well, I'm certainly going to be at one of the front of those lines.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see who's
Oh,
who.
hang on a second. I got
You
this. I know where that is. Right. Watch this, boys. Bang.
know.
Right. One more topic. One more topic.
Yeah,
Electric.
electric. You said the electric magnetic field, you said?
Yes, the damage that electromagnetic fields are creating, Nick, because this was something that we've been relatively exposed to on a light basis in the last 20 odd, 30 odd, 40 odd years. So if you were living near like an electric power station and you had major power lines running under your house or under, you would get things like leukemia showing up in that neighborhood, and children would be saying there'll be a higher spike rate of leukemia. This is just one example. But as of recent times in the last 6 years, we've been getting a huge amount of cancerous growth, and with people that haven't had either vaccines or they haven't had any issues beforehand. So yes, taking the vaccine can cause cancer, and I treat a lot of that. But I've had a massive spike increase of Mahoney. I get banging headaches, terrible, terrible migraine headaches. I feel sick now. I've been diagnosed with stomach cancer, pancreatic issues, testicular cancer is very high on that, ovarian cancer. So I said, well, what are you working in some environment where you're exposed to all this? Not really, I work downtown, or not really. I work in one guy works in a great big DIY store. And the one thing that I've linked it to, Nick, which is I've been talking to Dr. Corey Stern about it as well, is electric vehicles. One guy says, I ride a ride share, co-share, what do you call it? My friend drives me to work and we split it. And every time I get in that car and every time I get out, I've got a freaking banging headache, Mahoney. And I feel sick, I feel nauseous.
Mm.
It's affected one of my inner bones in my ears, the liquid in this ear, and I get dizzy. Ugh. So I said, well, what's the Tesla, electric car, electric car, electric car. So I've got a little video because the Germans have now just released a study. The Germans have released the dogs. No, it's a study, sorry. And this clearly shows the dangers of this. Now, the thing is, does Musk know about it? He's got to know about it. Why is he promoting electric cars if he's a good guy or a bad guy? Listen to the video anyway.
Buy an electric car or a hybrid. Ever. The German Radiation Authority just released the biggest survey ever on magnetic fields from electric and hybrid cars. They assessed magnetic field exposure in 13 vehicles, 11 electric vehicles and 2 plug-in hybrids. And here's the list of cars they measured. So magnetic fields are measured in a unit called microtesla. When it comes to possible health risks from magnetic fields, then most research shows risks starting at around 0.3 to 0.4 microtesla. And this exposure is linked to childhood leukemia, dementia and Alzheimer's, ALS, and miscarriages. Now, for these vehicles measured during normal driving, the levels inside the cabin were around 2 to 10.5 microtesla, which is already 25 times higher than the reference levels for those risks. And to make things even worse, during acceleration and braking, the levels spiked to 90 and even 900 microtesla. The study also found that if you just sit in a car parked with all the little smart system running, like heaters, fans, seat warmers, dashboards, and infotainment system, in some cases they measured at around 100 microtesla. So yeah, just another reason why I'll never get a new car.
Mm. Stick to your Cadillacs.
Well, it's true. I mean, the statistics are going through the roof, and I think that's going to get worse. But again, it's the same question that you get. Like, okay, Donald Trump is so good, then why did he sanction Operation, was it Warp Speed, when he was bringing out the vaccine so good? If he's so good, Mahoney, why was he, backing the vaccines? If Elon Musk is so great, what about all these people getting cancer in electric cars? I don't really have the answer for that. Elon, I've never really had a particularly good or bad feelings. I just get a weird feeling off him. He looks weird, he acts weird, he does strange things, he talks strange. His kids have all got strange names. I don't know what he's up to, but the point is, I've always disliked electric cars. I've never even, you know what? They tried to give me one as a renter car once, and I paid £100 more for not to be rented an electric car. I said, don't want it, won't use it, I don't care, I'll pay for that. And I won't even get in Teslas and renter cars, in Ubers, I won't even get in them. So what's your theory about what if all this technology was known about how bad electric vehicles are, Nick, why would they let it happen when people of power and influence such as Elon are manufacturing them?
I really don't know. I've got a few theories. Is that electric cars are, when people talk about the blackout, well, if the blackout happened when this flash happens, it would fry the grid, the electrical grid, and nobody would be able to drive their cars. But if you've got petrol, you're most likely to be okay. So are they causing chaos? Are they trying to restrict you as much as they can? Yeah, that's what I think. That's really what I think. But then they've got another theory with the electromagnetic field of the ozone layer.
Yeah, but that's a positive one, you see. Also, the way that it spins around, you can charge up your certain cells, and there's electromagnetic energy, wave lines, dragon lines, and ley lines going around the Earth. But these are all on a natural basis. It's like a different kind of
But you
energy.
mentioned about people dying, and
Yeah.
and that was very interesting. Why they're dying so young, and I have a spiritual um theory about this because let's face it, it's very new in the past 5 years that people have just been dying recently at different ages, 30 years old, cancer. We
Yeah,
never used to hear this, and this is
of
becoming
course.
very common. For me, I think that the timelines have split. We're about 80% there. We've got the 3D and the 5D split, and people that are not anchoring to the 5D organic Earth are dying. They can't take the new frequencies that the sun is giving us, which is now penetrating Earth, and they're dying. Are they experiencing death themselves? No, I think they're jumping timelines to the Earth hologram they're supposed to belong, and we are experiencing them leaving through death, illnesses, or moving far away. And I think that the Matrix is playing a storyline that makes sense to us to
They're
prevent
checking
grief.
out. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. I think that's a lot of truth in that, and because it doesn't make sense. It's like, okay, why are these young people, you know, if you believe God has a plan for all of us, you just got to sit at the table and and play the cards that he gives you. And some days you're going to have rough cards. Oh my God, I can't win with this. This is rubbish. But the comes a point where to be blatantly blunt about it, you've got to have the balls to sit at the table and stay there because you don't know what's going to happen on the next turn. You don't like these cards, all right, let's throw that one in, but let's see what's coming next. You've got to have the determination and the spiritual foundational strength to sit at the table and play the cards and take whatever he throws at you. So whether he takes a family member away, you won't understand the pain. Whether you lose your job, you moved into a different situation, it's all about having the courage and the faith and the determination to sit at the table and play till you need to play.
absolutely. But yeah, David, thank you so much for sharing everything with us today. Is there anything else that you want to say?
Been a good show today. We've been on many paths. I think we're going to have to go expand on all of this other stuff that we keep touching on now because geopolitical and interesting points, the spiritual side is very interesting. Maybe we'll discuss that on another day. No, just hang tight. Oh, one other little point today. It's a national holiday here in Spain today, and it's Christopher Columbus Day. No, the Spanish celebrate him as a great hero. He was a butcher. He was responsible for millions of deaths across the South and Central American continents and lands there between the Aztec, the Maya, and the Incas and the Native Americans. He murdered most of them and gave the rest of them horrible diseases such as sexually transmitted diseases and things like smallpox. So, if you're a Spanish person, you bump into me today and you say Happy Columbus Day, I will not respond in a positive way. He was probably the original genocide master, and he's celebrated in this country. He's a grand hero, and he isn't. So, if you're celebrating Christopher Columbus Day, think about that. There's more blood on that man's hands than somebody like Adolf Hitler or Joseph Stalin. He was terrible. But anyway, Nick, it's been great catching up. I love the shows we do. We always have a really good chat. And I look forward to seeing you all next time. And thank you, guys. You can follow me. All you got to do to get hold of any of my material is go to mahoney.tv, and there's links and all the details you need to find me on Instagram. So that's it, mahoney.tv. So simple.
Lovely. Thank you so much, David, and we'll speak soon.
Well done, Nick. Take care, brother. Bye-bye.